Okay, students, so this week we're gonna review rules of exponents. Most of this stuff you already know it. I mean, as long as you know what an exponent is, right? That's very important. So we're gonna start with the rules. There are a few rules we have to remember. All right, so once you see these type of examples, you'll be like, okay, I got it. So power of power. So when you have two powers, you're going to multiply the powers. That's what it says. It says if raising a power to a power, multiply the exponents. So we're going to be doing that. So x to the power of 2, and then rat raised to the power of 8. So you multiply the exponents. So the answer is x, and then 2 times 8, which is x to the 16th power. And here it says, well, it's the same thing. There are just negatives, that's it. But the answer is positive because they're both negatives. So it will be y to the power of -3 times -4. That is y to the power of positive 12. And that's it. So a power of a power, you multiply the exponents. So it says, so power of a product. So when a product means multiplication, so the two terms inside are being multiplied and then it's raised to a power. So what happens is that this m distributes to each of the terms inside the parentheses that are being multiplied. So notice this 3, so that distributes to the z, to the y, and then to the x here, and also to that 4. So that would be 4 to the power of 3 times x to the power of 3 times 3, y to the power of 3, and z to the power of 3. So let's simplify this. So that's 4 times 4 is 16. So 4 to the power of 3, remember you are not multiplying the base with the power, you're multiplying 4 3 times. That's 64. So 64, and then 3 times 3, that's x to the power of 9, and then y to the power of 3, and z to the power of 3. And that's the answer. Same thing here. So that times that, that's the power, and that's the power. So we're going to go 3 to the power of -2, x to the power of -2, and y to the power of -2. And then how do you simplify this? Well, when you have a negative exponent, we have to remember to put it underneath the fraction, so as a denominator. So all these numbers will be underneath the fraction. So 1 over 7 to the power of 2, x to the power of 2, and y to the power of 2. Notice that once you do that fraction underneath a 1, you put it below a 1 right here like a fraction, these become positive. And then you have to simplify. 1 over, that's 7 times 7, which is 49, x squared, y squared. And that's my answer. We're going to look at negative exponents. On this one, same thing. You multiply here, you do the exponents on each of the numbers here. So that's 6 to the power of -2, x to the power of that times that is positive 6, positive 12, and then that times that is positive 14, and 0, the power, so 0 times any number is 0, so that's z to the 0 power. We're going to learn this one too. Now this one, we got to put it below a 1, so that's 1 over, that is 6 times 6 is 36, then we leave that x to the 12th power, y to the 14th power on the top, and then that becomes just 1. Any number to the power of 0 is 1. That's my answer right there. I know it's a little crazy there, but we're not going to do anything like this. So let's just focus on the easy part of it. Power of a quotient. Quotient means division. So what happens here is that if a fraction is being multiplied, it's being raised to a power, each of the numbers get the power. Notice that m went to a and b. So that's what's going to happen. So this one goes here and that one goes there. That means that 3 to the second power and 5 to the second power, which is the same thing as 3 times 3, which is 9, and 5 times 5, which is 25. Okay, same thing here. Everything gets the power, including that number. So that's 2 to the power of 2, 8 times 5 times 2, that's 10. Notice that I multiplied the exponents, and then b to the power of 14, right? And then I simplify. 2 times 2, that's 4, a to the power of 10 over b to the power of 14. We leave it like that. I'm not going to do the other ones on the bottom. All right. Then it says here, a power of anything with a 0 exponent is 1. Anything. It can be 1,000 to the power of 0 is 1. Any non-zero number with an exponent of 0 is equivalent to 1. Why? Well, let's see. That's a whole, right? That's a whole, so that's 1. So let's do that. Everything in here equals 1. Everything in here, so that's 8 times 1 plus 5. So that's 8 times 1, because x is to the 0 power. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5, that is 13. That's my answer. Simplification. All right, negative exponents. For any non-zero number, a raised to a negative exponent, place the power in the denominator to rewrite the power with a positive exponent. So that means, so let's explore why. Well, we have a quotient here. It says when we are dividing, we are subtracting the exponent. So that would be b2 minus 5. b2 minus 5, that is b to the negative 3. Well, that's the same thing as 1 over b to the third power. Okay, so that's what happens here. So this one, it's 1 over 2 to the third power, which is 1 over 8. This one is 1 over negative 3 to the third power. Okay, so when you multiply exponents, numbers with exponents, you add the exponents. So we have 2 times 2 is 4. When you divide numbers with exponents, so that's, let's see, 2 over, 5, and then 3, and then 4. Well, we have 2 over 5 cannot be simplified, and then we can do it this way, which 8 over, and then 5 times 5, right? So that's 5 to the 4th power. It's 625. You can do that. Sorry, I put 24. You have, so you have to remember what an exponent is. So 5 to the 3rd power is 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. And that would be it. Hope it helps.